A woman stands in her yard, towering over a couple with a sick baby in their arms. She points her thick right arm at the man and says, "You've been crawling some other woman while Senna was pregnant. And you and that woman worked a trick on her, so she can't get well." The man denies it. The woman trembles. But Ida Carter doesn't back down. She tells them to go home and search their weed patch. There's a conjure ball hidden there. Tear it up, and Senna will get well. Now, if you can't find it, come back, and I'll fix you up. This is how we meet her. Ida Carter, the conjure woman of Hogansville, Georgia. But the world didn't call her Ida. They called her Seven Sisters. Now here's the problem. The real Seven Sisters were a legendary group of conjure women in New Orleans, famous decades before Ida Carter lit her first candle. Blues singers sang about them. Hoodoo products carried their name. So why was Ida Carter, a single woman in Georgia, remembered as Seven Sisters? Was she a true heir to their power? Or was she an imposter, borrowing a legend to boost her own? Stay tuned, because this is the story of Ida Carter, a woman who lit 7 candles for 7 nights for 7 years. She claimed her spirit came from the Lord Jesus Christ, and yet may have built her entire empire on a name that wasn't hers. Hey everyone, welcome back to Papa Sear's YouTube channel. If you love diving into captivating stories about hoodoo history, Black American spirituality, and so much more, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you always know whenever I post a new video. I'll give you a moment right now to go ahead and hit like and also subscribe. Ida Carter lived in Hogansville, Georgia, just over the Alabama border. But her story was bound up in a land folklorist Carl Carmer called conjure country. This was a cultural region that stretches across the Black Belt of Alabama into western Georgia. It is presumed Ida was born and raised in Alabama. This Black Belt was the land of rich soil worked by numerous enslaved Africans. Land later held by their descendants. Black families owned and worked land here. White settlers came down from the mountains, killing and robbing to take it. The land was blood-soaked, but it was also spiritually charged. In this environment, conjure was survival. It was protection, justice, healing, and vengeance. Ida Carter's story has been immortalized in a book entitled "The Stars Fell on Alabama" by Carl Carmer. This was his account of coming from upstate New York into the southern land of Alabama, to take in the culture and also assimilate to Southern culture during that time. What is distinctive about this book is that the author divides the state of Alabama into 5 distinct subregions: the Red Hills, the Foothills, the Black Belt, Conjure Country, and Cajun Country. Ida Carter derived from the Black Belt, which was a land that extended from Alabama into Georgia. The land was known because of the rich black soil associated with this land, but also because it was one of the largest densely populated places in America of African slaves. Later in life, we find Ida Carter living right outside the Alabama border in what is now known as Hogansville, Georgia, which was connected to Conjure Country. This particular part of Alabama, Carl Carmer associates with the practices of Black Americans: conjuration, hoodooism, traditional folk medicine, as well as root work. And it is because of the culture of this landscape where Ida Carter is able to develop her gifts, but also find a mentor who can teach her in the traditional arts of Black American spirituality. At age 7, Ida lit 7 candles on the first night of May. She repeated this ritual for 7 nights every May for the next 7 years straight. By the age 14, she was recognized as a conjure woman. The community gave her the name 7 Sisters. But she wasn't just self-initiated. She admitted she learned tricks from an old voodoo woman, as she recalled, who lived next to her mother. That woman's mother was born in Africa. So Ida wasn't just inventing herself. She was carrying direct African lineage into 20th century Georgia. Ida Carter's claim to fame in the modern era is the infamous story of her lighting the candles for 7 years in what current culture has proclaimed as self-initiation. I don't necessarily believe that this was a self-initiation. Like many practitioners of hoodooism, her first gift was the gift of divination, the gift of being able to connect with the ethereal. Before Ida touched anything that resembled hoodooism or root work or conjuration, she was a gifted medium. People came to her because her visions, her readings, her counsel was accurate and it was correct. The ritual that we see here, if one wants to describe it as a self-initiation, I can see how. But my version of it is more so of a dedication. Her dedicating herself to the Spirit of the Lord is what she says, who blessed her. She said that she spoke to a spirit given to her directly from Jesus Christ. She believed in spirit guides. She believed in personal spirit guides. So outside of just hoodooism, she was a practicing spiritualist. Her home was distinctive. A clean, white house, trimmed in green. A porch, shaded by honeysuckle vines. And a yard with 7 white posts set in an irregular pattern. When Carmer visited, he bragged that he had driven 60 miles just to see her. Ida scoffed. "You ain't come nowheres. Folks come from foreign states to see me." She was unimpressed. Unbothered, Ida Carter commanded respect. She was a savvy businesswoman. Ida Carter charged for everything. $1.25 for local conjure work, $1 per gallon for May water collected from the first rain of May, $5 for gambling hands, which she swore could win hundreds in minutes. When Carmer wanted to write down her recipes, she charged him $4.50, and then she began to dictate 11 conjure formulas, everything from love magic to deadly curses. Her recipes were vivid, shocking, cinematic. To get rid of an enemy, drive dung into a tree and peg it tighter every morning until they are no longer alive. Or make a conjure ball of 9 animal hairs and gunpowder. Toss it in the air, and when it explodes, your enemy is no more, no matter where they are. To bind a man, boil fish bait worms, soak his drawers in the water, and he'll never leave. To heal, burn 9 pine roots from a road untouched by death. Collect the resin and rub it on a bad back. Ida's manual proved she could heal, protect, curse, or be rid of a person, whichever the situation demanded. When questioned how she learned it all, Ida Carter replied, "It's a spirit in me that tells. A spirit from the Lord Jesus Christ. I tricks in the name of the Lord." Here was her genius. She tied her conjure to Christianity, or hid behind it, giving it legitimacy in a deeply religious South. And yet, she also tied herself to the Seven Sisters brand, a name already infamous in hoodoo circles. So was she an imposter? Or was she simply marketing herself in a world where reputation, your name, was power? I do not believe that she was an imposter. I believe that she was a smart businesswoman who was smart enough to align herself with a name brand that was respected and had been respected in the community for decades prior to her birth. An imposter would have been a person who had no gift at all, who could not have performed this work, who would have just been a snake oil salesman. And she was far from any of that. People were traveling from neighboring states to come see this woman. And there was this rumor going on in the city of Birmingham amongst white people that that was who you go to see when you had a problem, when you needed help with money, healing, anything like that, that her name had become a staple in the city of Birmingham amongst the Caucasian community. Imposter? Absolutely not. I just think that this was a woman, again, if we look at her character, very business savvy and very unapologetic about wanting to be successful in business. She aligned herself again with a name that was trusted, and she ran with it. We don't have Ida Carter's photograph. We don't see her name in history books. But we do have her story, written down by Carmer in 1934. She remains a mystery, but her influence ripples on. A conjure woman who blended African lineage, elements of Christian faith, and shrewd business. An imposter? Maybe to some, but an icon, definitely. If you've made it this far, share this story. Drop a comment. Do you think Ida Carter was an imposter? Or was she simply smart enough to claim a legend and make it her own? Ida Carter's 7 candles have long burned out, but her name still glows. She wasn't 7 women. She was one. And maybe that's the real magic. That one woman could carry the spirit of 7 and leave behind a legend so strong it still walks with us today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, then give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends in respective communities. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so let's get the conversation started in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Papa's Ear for more intriguing stories, and I'll see you in the next video.